Welcome to Challenge Accepted with Jonah C., where we will dive deep into the power of deliberate and purposeful action and continue to apply the challenge accepted mindset. A big welcome to new listeners and a great big welcome to those who keep coming back for more. As always, I appreciate you so much. Whether you're working toward a major goal or overcoming an obstacle that seems impossible, today's episode is for you. Because let me tell you, success doesn't just come from working hard. It comes from working with purpose, being intentional, and saying challenge accepted when life throws you a curveball. Are you ready? I am. I'm Jonah. I'm your person. Let's get to it. Today, we'll explore what it means to be deliberate, purposeful, and how passion can drive us to overcome the toughest challenges. Like in previous shows, we'll do this in segments. The first segment will be passion. I consider passion the fuel that drives the purpose. So let's talk about that. What is passion? It's the fire inside you, that energy that makes you want to keep pushing forward even when the odds are against you. Without passion, purpose fades. And without purpose, being deliberate feels like dragging yourself through the mud. I'd like to share an example of the difference of someone trying to light a fire under someone's bum or butts versus lighting the fire in someone's soul. Have you ever been in the situation either at work or at school where you were getting in trouble because you committed to doing something and you didn't follow through, or it got hard and you fell way behind? And this may have happened on several occasions with the same project. And your supervisor or the teacher is writing you or micromanaging you. And now they are taking the approach of lighting a fire under your bum in order to get you to finish the task or the commitment. Maybe you're the supervisor or the teacher, and you're trying to light that fire under someone's butt, and it's still not working. In my experience, more times than not, it doesn't really work. Put another way, getting to the finish line seems daunting. So consider this. If you take the time to share the importance of the project or assignment, and you get that person's buy-in, and maybe you're that person who needs to buy in, lighting a fire in someone's soul is where it's at. What do I mean by this? Well, if you can connect with that someone or someone connects with you, you may now be able to see that the person understands why the assignment or task is important. They may now understand how much they play a role in the success of that project or assignment, and maybe even take pride in being a part of completing whatever it is they're working on and that you're trying to get them to finish. I hope all of that made sense, but put more simply, in order to overcome challenges or conquer your goals, you must have passion inside you. Let me tell you a quick story that can apply to all of you, if not most of you. Imagine this. A musician was told they'd never make it, rejected by every label. They could have given up, but instead, their passion for music, for their craft, kept them going. They just needed to keep moving on, and they didn't just dream. They took deliberate, purposeful steps toward their goal. They accepted every challenge and used it as fuel. This is what passion does. It ignites the purpose, which in turn drives action. But let me tell you something important. Passion alone isn't enough. You need to harness it. You need to put it into motion with purpose. I want to pause just for a moment and remind you and encourage you to make sure you're using as many resources as possible to help make this a part of your DNA. Being deliberate and purposeful is not always easy. So use this podcast, use a TED Talk, check out a YouTube video. Therapists help as well, or job coaches. And so, once again, use as many resources as possible to make this, like I said, a part of your DNA. For now, I'm going to provide you some tips for staying connected to your passion. Number one, remember your why. When things get tough, remind yourself why you started in the first place. What was the original spark that was lit within your soul? Number two, celebrate small wins. Don't wait to get to the finish line to pat yourself on the back. Every step forward is progress, and those little victories can reignite your passion when it starts to flicker, or keep your passion and or your fire lit. Number three, visualize your success. Picture yourself overcoming this challenge. How will it feel when you conquer it? That vision can help fuel your passion, especially in moments of doubt. When passion meets purpose, something powerful happens. You stop reacting to life and start being intentional. Before we move on to segment 2, please don't forget to subscribe to the show. It really does help to grow the channel. Thank you. Now, on to segment 2. The art of being deliberate. Now, let's talk about being deliberate. I want you to think about the word deliberate for a second. It's not about rushing through life or hoping things fall into place. It's about intentional action. When you're deliberate, every step has meaning. Every action you take is aligned with your bigger goal. Let me paint a picture for you. Think of a sculpture. When they first look at the block of marble, they don't just start chiseling at random. No, they have a vision, and every strike of their tool is intentional. It's deliberate. And that's how masterpieces are made, not by accident, but by design. So, how can we apply this to our own challenges? How can we move from just being busy to being deliberate? The one thing I want to impress upon you is there should be no accidents. It's not like you wake up in the morning, step on a Lego, go through the pain of stepping on the Lego, and there's your complete commitment. Done, goal done, etc. Poof, it's there. No, you get out of bed, you bypass the Lego, and you start your day with a plan. It's deliberate, it's purposeful, it's meaningful, it's well thought out. And a lot of times, if not most times, you're starting with the end in mind. And so, not to go off the rails, but if you start with the end in mind, you kind of know where a lot of steps or milestones are going to be. That's being deliberate. Now, I want to share some steps to taking deliberate action. Number one, clarify your goal. You need to know what you're aiming for. Write it down. Be specific. Vague goals lead to vague actions. Number two, break it down. Every challenge can be overwhelming if you look at it in its entirety. As a matter of fact, in my own life, there have been so many goals that I didn't accomplish because I was overwhelmed by the entirety of the goal, not thinking that baby steps do matter. And so when you break it down into smaller manageable tasks, you raise the probability of you accomplishing the ultimate goal. The power of deliberate action comes from focusing on what you can do right now. Number three, prioritize your efforts. You can't do everything at once, and that's okay. Focus on the most important tasks that will move you closer to your goal. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do today that will have the most impact? Here's a tip. Being deliberate doesn't mean you always have to have the perfect plan or that you won't have setbacks. It means that you're purposeful in your actions and willing to adjust as needed. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. The deliberate approach turns challenges into stepping stones. So instead of saying, I don't know if I can handle this, change your thinking and say, what's the best way to handle this? I talked about perfection just a second ago. I've met and mentored and coached many, many people, and many of them are either perfectionists or think they have to be perfectionists. And what I see is tension. I see unnecessary stress. Why is that? Well, because perfection is not sustainable. I'm not saying or implying that one should not be great and should not strive for greatness, but greatness and perfection are two completely different things. What I'd like to encourage people to do is operate within good to great. Okay? There's a lot of goodness in between that area. When somebody steps up to the plate in a baseball game, they're not always trying to hit a home run, believe it or not. You'll get somebody to bunt the ball to take one for the team, as one would say, or to get on first base or third base or second base, whatever the case might be. Ultimately, sure, always hitting a home run is maybe the ultimate goal for some, but it's not always going to happen. Therefore, there's no such thing as perfection. Once again, strive for being between good to great. Some people might argue with me. I might get some negative messages on this one. I'm okay with that. But the vast majority of people should put themselves between good and great. Segment 3, the challenge accepted mindset. All right, not going to lie. This is my favorite part of this episode. And you know the one, when life hits you hard, is to look it straight between the eyes and say, bring it on. This mindset isn't about ignoring fear or pretending everything is easy. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities to grow, to push yourself, and to prove what you're capable of. So let's talk about reframing your mindset. When faced with an obstacle, so many people focus on the problem. But when you say challenge accepted, you shift your focus to solutions, and you stop asking yourself, why is this happening to me? And start asking, how can I turn this around? You know, it hasn't always been easy for me either. And there had to come a time when, faced with adversity, is looking that right between the eyes and saying to myself, as corny as it might have sounded at the time, challenge accepted. I've got this. I want this. I know I can do this. I've done this before. And it's convincing myself, or you, that it can be done because either you've done it before, somebody else has done it, and just getting to this place where you accept the challenge rather than becoming a victim or listening to the naysayers. You have to be in this mindset that you're committed, you're convicted, and you know why. Think about athletes training for the Olympics. Their path is full of challenges, physical, emotional, mental, and sometimes financial, but they don't back down. Every setback, every injury, every loss is just another opportunity to come back stronger. They have a challenge accepted mentality. They turn adversity into fuel. You can apply this mindset to any area of your life, whether you're striving for a promotion, trying to build a business, trying to get a better grade, or simply working on becoming a better version of yourself. The challenge accepted mindset empowers you to face anything head on. Okay, I want you to try something. Here's my challenge to you. Take out a piece of paper and write down one challenge you're currently facing. Now, next to it, write, how can I turn this challenge into an opportunity? Now, don't rush it. Sit with it. Let the possibilities emerge. This is how you start thinking like a problem solver rather than a problem avoider. Segment 4, wrapping it all together. So, let's do this. When you combine passion with purpose, you act deliberately and adopt a challenge-accepted mindset, you become unstoppable. You stop seeing challenges as roadblocks and start viewing them as stepping stones to something greater. You become the kind of person who not only conquers goals, but does it with intention and heart and maybe even grace. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. The challenges you face today are not here to defeat you. They are here to define you. They are shaping you into the person who will achieve even greater things tomorrow and the person that you want to become. You know, being deliberate and purposeful also involves accepting and understanding that you're not going to conquer everything today. Remember those baby steps. Ask yourself, what can you do today with purpose, with deliberateness, to be better for tomorrow? Even if it's just a mindset, even if it's just a small action, it's taking that step, baby or otherwise, forward. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, when life gets tough, don't shy away. Look at the challenge and say with conviction, challenge accepted. Now go out there and take the first step. Take that first deliberate step towards your goal. And here we are at the end of the show. If or when you're faced with adversity and tough times, there's no need to go it alone. When you want more, when you're faced with so many challenges, as we've kept talking about throughout this show, how will you manage? Will you take what you learned from the show and just kind of toss it to the side? Or will you be purposeful and deliberate? Or will you let the naysayers tell you what you're going to do? Will you crumble under pressure? Will you give up your power? Will you choose negativity? Because it is a choice. Or will you say, once again, challenge accepted. I've got this. I want this. I will trust myself to get it done. Stay strong. Stay resilient. And keep rising above every obstacle that comes your way. Remember, you have the power to not only survive, but to thrive in the face of this adversity. And my message to you, my friend, is you've got this. I believe in you. Now believe in yourself and make it happen. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for coming back, and have a great week.